Hey everybody, this is Alex, and I'm making this video as my first series of updates, monthly updates, hopefully, for everything going on with Hamster Studios. There's a lot that we're doing that isn't really getting published up on the website, and it's kind of hard to constantly make those posts, and I'm hoping that these video updates will be a little bit better in getting you your information and looking better too, because those posts were just giant bricks of text and sometimes weren't really interesting. So if you didn't notice already, depending on whether you're on YouTube right now or if you're on my website right now, the other exists, basically is what I'm trying to say. There's a whole YouTube channel I'm working on right now where I'm doing a bunch of different types of videos. If you're on YouTube, you already know that right now. Or if you're on my main website, then you people on YouTube, I have a whole website dedicated to my comic work, which is what this update is about. So it's kind of updating, either spectrum, but you get the idea. So this is the update for June 2014, and since this is the first one, I'm going to try and backtrack a little bit. Like I said, the website is up and completely operational. There's a lot of cool things on the website now, including the store, which I talked about in an earlier post if you guys were familiar with that one. And you should definitely take a look at the store because that's the best place to get the copies of the comics we have. The only thing that's a little bit of an issue on there is shipping. Shipping's a little weird, especially going international. I don't even think there's international options yet on there. I was waiting until I had the demand before I started putting the option on there because it really costs a lot. Huge difference. Like the difference of shipping one issue of a comic, this is the first issue of R, by the way. If you ship one comic, say, to anywhere in America, it's like a flat rate around like $4, which is a lot, but it's really not that big of a deal if you get like several issues together. It kind of saves the money. But if you send this to like, say, across the ocean, it might cost around like $13, and that's just shipping. That's just what the post office wants, which is stupid. So I didn't make that option yet just because it's really expensive and it's kind of not really worth it to spend, you'd be spending like $20 on one issue of a comic, which that's really bad. That's like what you would spend for the whole 6 issues printed in a trade. So it's kind of disappointing. So there's no option to do that on yet, but you can buy the comics online on the website. There's also posters and t-shirts and things like that that I can also have shipped out. I've got like tubes and things like that to ship those, and also the shipping varies based on what it is, but whatever, either way. For you guys on YouTube who don't even know yet, this first issue of R, which if you're from Ocarina Hero days, is Ignatzisair. This is the first issue from that story, and yes, it got printed, so that's pretty awesome. The second issue is being worked on right now. It's R2. I'm sorry, you have to ignore my family, they're really loud. So the second issue is going to be out later this year, coming out in, let me see, September, I think it's like 5th through the 7th or so, is Cincy Comic-Con for this year. We go, that's our main convention that we visit. We went there last year, which was their opening year actually, and we did really well. We made back our table, which is really surprising for a first year for an independent comic studio with only one comic. So that was great. So we're going back next year. We're going to have our issue 2 by then. We're also going to have the first issue of Dawn there, which is another comic that I didn't tell you anything about really. It was actually supposed to be out last year at the other convention, but things happened. The artist, John McCoy, he's a digital painter. He's really great, but he had a lot of things going at that point, and he couldn't get it done on time. And he was focusing on school, and now since we've all graduated in a stream. I graduated, Kim graduated, John graduated from college, all different places by the way, which reminds me I should probably hang this thing up, but anyway, yes, we did. Now that it's the summer after all that's happened, John's kicking it in gear and he's finally getting Dawn ready. He actually says it should be ready by midnight on Friday of this week, which would be the 27th of June, and which means I'm gonna have to go in a lettering frenzy and letter the whole thing before anything ever happens. But it should be ready perfectly fine by the convention date. Our issue 2, however, is a little farther back. Kim has been having a lot of issues at home, and she's having a lot of problems trying to get, like, even internet. She recently got a new laptop, and she's been trying to paint with her Photoshop, and it's a lot of stuff I don't really need to get into. So she's been having a lot of problems, and we're trying to make sure we can get it by that date, because if any comic R couldn't be done in a year, Kim's having a lot of issues doing layouts by herself. That's another thing. She wanted to do it. She really wanted to, and she's doing pretty good. She is learning a lot from it, but I probably should have done at least like loose sketch layouts for her just so we could get it done quicker. I'm going to for issue 3. It's not going to take this long. But anyway, we're hoping to get our issue 2 by the convention date, but I can nearly guarantee you Dawn will be done by that convention date. Other stuff to let you know about, there's another comic that I did called Infrarem that will be at the convention because I'm holding it. This is part 1 of a graphic novel I'm working on, just me, nobody else with it. This is actually my senior thesis project, this part 1 here, and I'm sure I'm going to do a synopsis trailer thing like I did for R about Infrarem sometime in the future, near future, and the thing is, I'm hoping to do the rest of this at my graduate school program, or during my graduate school program. I'm going for another 2 years of school, hoping that after that I'll be a art teacher, professor, and hopefully, fingers crossed, get to teach a comic class. Yes, that'd be awesome. But that aside, this comic, Infrarem, it's basically about dreams, and like I said, I'm going to get into all that later, but it's really cool. It's my own book, but anyway, it's got a lot of like long exposure photography, if you can see any of this stuff in here, so really bright, splashy, colorful book, crazy science-y theme behind it, and the last convention I was at, which was Indie PopCon, which I can make another video about later if I feel like it, but I'm not a real big fan of Indie PopCon, but anyway. The only books that really sold there were copies of Infrarem, which was 10, and it's only the part 1 of something, and I think I have a bunch of damaged copies of R that I was just giving out, and people barely wanted that, which that was super popular at CincyCon, and I didn't have Infrarem at the time so I couldn't compare it, but Infrarem was selling, and R really wasn't. People just didn't seem interested in it there. The people there were more like into video gaming and podcasting, and I guess, or the big vendors. It's kind of hard to tell because nobody was back in the Artist Alley stuff, so that was a real bummer. Didn't really do that well there, but I ended up just splitting a table with a friend of mine from Freshman Studios, Alex Breen, which, by the way, it's another fun thing I can show you. He and I have been, he's been working on a comic, and I've been helping him with his comic, and he has his own self-publishing group, Freshman Studios, which, like I said, mine is Hamster Studios, and he is publishing one comic, Fight or Flight. Since this video is mainly Hamster I'm just kind of letting you know because I do work a lot with this, and I want to let you know about it because it's more independent comics that I'm technically in. The first issue here, and you can learn more about this on his website, which I believe is freshmanstudios.com. I believe. I'll put a link in the description just in case it isn't. Either way, I'll put it down there. But anyway, this first issue, he does the writing. There's a guy, Ayers from, I don't even remember where he's from, somewhere on the other side of the ocean. And he does all the inks, the layouts, the inks, all that stuff. And then Naja Smith, actually I think she has a different last name now, Naja Gaskin. This is issue 2, the only 2 issues out currently. This issue 2 has recently come out. I think it just came out within this month of June. So that's pretty cool. If you aren't familiar with this stuff, definitely go to his website, take a look at those, because awesome comic that I'm working on. With him, I'm doing the editing, basically just helping him get the story working right. Not mainly the story, I'm not going to change his actual story plans, but I'm going to help him with dialogue if something doesn't quite sound right, or try and tweak something so where you could make a page work a little bit better. And I letter at the same time. That's actually usually when we do the back-to-back editing, is while I'm lettering his pages. really helps that way. But people actually say, in particular, when they read his book, they comment on how cool the lettering is, which is weird and kind of, you know, nice for me to hear that I did a good job, I guess. I lettered Fight or Flight really different, and it's pretty cool, so you should take a look at that. Other than that, other than Fight or Flight, R2 coming out hopefully by the convention date. Me announcing that we're going to the next convention, which is at, like I said, Cincy Comic-Con, early September. I think it starts the 5th to the 7th. I think it's the first weekend of September, I believe. And Infrared being out. We're not planning on any other convention tables to sell at in the Cincinnati area, but we might go to some as fans. So I'll let you know if we do decide to do that, so you'd be able to bump into us. One more thing. John McCoy also decided that he is going to be coming with us this year to Cincy Comic-Con, which is going to be fun, because last year it was just Kim and I, which was fine, because I mean you only get two chairs, it's not that much room, but you can easily fit a third one, and John's actually going to be there. So for all those people who had things like signed, like posters signed, you can finally have the Dawn side signed by John. And as far as I know, since he's only going to be illustrating issue 1, and there's another artist I'm talking to who I know from school who may be doing the art for issue 2, which would be really helpful, because if I have to end up doing it, then Dawn's going to be put on hold for a long time, because I'm already working on R, I'm already working on Infrared, which I want to finish, and Dawn, though I really, really love Dawn, I honestly think it's the best series I've written, it would have to get put on hold, and that would be terrible, so I really don't want to do that. So, she might be helping with the new art, and if John's going to be coming to this convention, it'll probably be the only one, because they'll be selling this issue 1. So if you want to get stuff signed by the entire creative team for that first issue, you gotta come to this convention. So it'd be really cool to see you there. Let us know in the comments what you think. And since I'm not really thinking of any other updates that happened within the month of June, I think I'm going to call that the video. And that was June for Hamster Studios. I'll see you guys in July.